Bhakti Bhaktinanda Swami Prabhupada Maharaj ki Bhakti Sana Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Maharaj ki Shri Shri Gauratai ki Shri Shri Radha Rajbhai Lalda Vijaga ki Shri Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman ki Gaur Premananda. All glory to this Murli. All glory to Samurli. All glory to Samurli. All glory to Shri Guru and Shri Guru. Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam class. Should I speak in English? Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. तो कितने भक्त हैं जिन्हें अंग्रेजी समझ नहीं आती? तो आप लोग पीछे बैठ सकते हो, कोई अनुवाद करेगा? समझ ट्रांसलेटिंग tell them.
Hare Krishna. तो महाराज इंग्लिश में प्रवचन देंगे और इसका अनुवाद हिंदी में FM 89.0 पे हो रहा है, 89.0। तो आप लोग 89.0 FM ट्यून कर सकते हैं और इसका हिंदी में अनुवाद सुन सकते हैं।
क्योंकि अंग्रेजी में कई देशों में लोग,
क्योंकि बहुत सारे देशों में महाराज को अभी लाइव सुना जा रहा है और अंग्रेजी भक्त हैं तो उन्हें अंग्रेजी में प्रवचन समझ में आएगा, इसलिए आज महाराज अंग्रेजी में प्रवचन देंगे। तो आप सभी हिंदी में 89.0 FM लगा के सुन सकते हैं।
श्रीमद् भागवतम Canto 10, Chapter 11, Text 10 and 11. बोर्ड में लिखा है कुछ नहीं, कौन सा लिखा है? कृनिहि बोहा फालानीति श्रुत्वा सत्वरम् अच्युता फालाराथि धान्यम् आदया यायो सर्वा फला कृनिहि भो फलान्तरे श्रुत्वा सत्वरम् अच्युता वराहि धान्यमदाय यायो सर्वफलप्रदा कृन्ति भो फलन्ति श्रुत्वा सत्वरम् अच्युता फलानि धान्यमदाय यायो सर्वफलप्रदा। Surely it's very small. Kratibo Palanti Shutva Sadvaram Achuta Falari Dhanyam Adaya Ayosava Falapada. You want to read? Yeah. Mataji's. Word meaning.
Please come and purchase. Oh neighborhood residents. Padani, ripe fruits. Iti, thus. Shutva, hearing. Satvaram, very soon. Achyutaha, Krishna. Phala-arthi, as if he wanted some fruits. Dhanyam, adaya,
capturing some grains of paddy. Yayo went to the fruit vendor. Sarva Phalapradaha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can give all kinds of fruit to everyone, had now become in need of fruits. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Gopal ki Jai. Translation. Once a woman selling fruit was calling, "O inhabitants of Rajabhumi, if you want to purchase some fruits, come here." Upon hearing this, Krishna immediately took some grains and went to barter as if he needed some fruits. Purport. Aborigines generally go to the villagers to sell fruits. How much the aborigines were attracted to Krishna is herein described. Krishna, to show his favor to the aborigines, would immediately go purchase fruits, bartering with paddy in his hand, as he had seen others to do.
The purport is very short, 2 lines. We'll read the next verse. Let's do the translation and purport.
Translation of text 11. While Krishna was going to the fruit vendor very hastily, most of the grains he was holding fell. Nonetheless, the fruit vendor filled Krishna's hand with fruits, and her fruit basket was immediately filled with jewels and gold. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 9.26, Krishna says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upadam ashnami prayatatmanaha. Krishna is so kind that if anyone offers him a leaf, a fruit, a flower, or some water, he will immediately accept it. The only condition is that these things should be offered with bhakti. Yo me bhaktya prayachati. Otherwise, if one is puffed up with false prestige, thinking I have so much opulence and I am giving something to Krishna, one's offering will not be accepted by Krishna. The fruit vendor, although a woman belonging to the poor aborigine class, dealt with Krishna with great affection, saying, Krishna, you have come to me to take some fruit in exchange of grains. All the grains have fallen, but still, you may take whatever you like. Thus, she filled Krishna's palms with whatever fruits he could carry. In exchange, Krishna filled her whole basket with jewels and gold. From this incident, one should learn that for anything offered to Krishna with love and affection, Krishna can reciprocate many millions of times over, both materially and spiritually. The basic principles involved is an exchange of love. Therefore, Krishna teaches in Bhagavad Gita 9.27, Yat karoshi yadashnasi yat juhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. O son of Kunti, all that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer and give away, as well as all austerities that you may perform, should be done as an offering unto me. With love and affection, one should try to give something to Krishna from one's source of income. Then one's life will be successful. Krishna is full in all opulences. He does not need anything from anyone. But if one is prepared to give something to Krishna, that is for one's own benefit. The example given in this connection is that when one's real face is decorated, the reflection of one's face is automatically decorated. Similarly, if we try to serve Krishna with all our opulences, we, as part and parcel or reflection of Krishna, will become happy in exchange. Krishna is always happy, for he is Atma Rama, fully satisfied with his own opulence.
Om Gyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshuran Militan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manavestam Sabitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvidam Tam Sudevam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Vijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Satta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwamanu Vancha kalpa tarabhyascha kripa sindhu bhayevacha paritanam avalebhyo vaishnavyo namo namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Hare Krishna Hare Krishna. In the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam, we read so many wonderful stories in Passion of the Lord. And the Passion of the Lord are always transcendental. Therefore Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Chamya Divyam. My appearance and disappearance are both divyam, beyond the material modes. Just like when Krishna appeared in front of his parents, he appeared in his four-headed form, beautifully decorated, and then when he was requested to transform to an ordinary child, he did that. So Krishna's pastimes have been presented by Srila Prabhupada in a very genuine, authentic way. Now, we read of several of Krishna's pastimes. We just read Krishna delivering the two sons of Kuera, how he was tied to a mortar, and he remembered the promise that his devotee, Narada, had given to the sons of Kuera, who were cursed to become Arjuna trees. And that was, at the expiry of 100 celestial years, they would have an audience with the Lord. And 6 months of our early years is equal to 12 hours of the celestial planet. So Krishna was tied to a mortar, but he remembered, my devotee Narada has given this benediction, so I must fulfill it. And Krishna pulled the mortar very hard, and the two trees fell. And when the two trees fell, they created such a heavy sound. And these trees were so heavy that several elephants could not even pull it. And the baby Krishna, he pulled it down, and out of the trees came the two sons of Kuera and the Gopal. And they offered their obeisances. They recognized that this audience with the Lord is being realized mainly due to the causeless mercy of Narada Muni. And Krishna is so kind that he fulfills the desire, the instructions of his devotee. Just like the Lord appeared as Nrsimhadev and killed the powerful demon in Anakashipu, but keeping all of Brahma's promises intact. So Krishna is inconceivable, achintya, and achyuta, infallible. So now in this pastime, we're reading about the pastime of a fruit seller. A fruit seller, this lady, was a Borjani, simple lady. She was selling fruits. And when she was selling fruits, she was shouting, "Anybody wants to buy apples?" Like we see that pattern even today. When people are selling something, they say, whatever they're selling, sabji lo, ye lo. So this lady was selling fruits. And she came to the area where Krishna was residing, Nanda Maharaj's palace. And she was saying, "What happened in Braj Bhumi? If you want to purchase some fruits, here I am. Come and buy the fruits." This was, like these days they have home delivery, where people, she would go house to house, and years ago, the barter system was quite common. The barter system even exists even now. In 1976, I had gone to the former Soviet Union for presenting Prabhupada's books. And at that time it was communism. And at that time the Soviet Union didn't have so much of a hard currency. So whichever library I went to, they said, "Yes, we want these books, but we don't have dollars to pay. We will give you Russian books in exchange. You give us your books, and we'll give you Russian books on science and mathematics." And that was almost the answer of every library I went to. So I wrote to Prabhupada and said, "What to do? They want your books, but they don't want to pay cash. They want us to buy Russian books in exchange." Prabhupada said, "Just give them the books free." What would we do with Russian books in English? So anyway, so this is a very ancient system of trade called barter. That is, we don't pay cash, but we exchange one commodity with another. So this lady was doing barter. Anybody wants to buy fruits, fresh fruits, but in exchange, she would expect something. So the Lord heard this lady's voice selling apples. So he took some grains in his hand, which he would be offering to that lady in exchange. But he was a young boy, young child. Young child, children generally do not have strong hands. Of course, Krishna was exception. Because he pulled down the true Arjuna trees, and when he pulled them down, they made such a heavy sound that Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yasoda came running. And when they came running, they saw that two trees had fallen on the ground, but they made such a heavy sound, it appeared as if the earth was going to crack. And it made such a heavy sound. And so the mother, when she came there, she saw the two trees flat on the ground, and she saw her son was in between the trees. In fact, the trees just missed hitting the Lord by a small, maybe a centimeter or something. So the mother inquired, who caused these trees to fall? And the cowherd boys, who were witness to what they saw, they said, your son pulled down these trees. And the mother, out of parental affection, would not believe it. How can my young son pull down these trees? It is impossible. But she would not believe it. So the Lord's activities are always superhuman. So Krishna had some grains in his hand. And with the grains, he went to buy the apples. But by the time he reached the lady who was selling apples, virtually all the grains had slipped through his fingers. And he had nothing to offer. But this fruit seller, she had a great attraction to the Lord. And she came especially to the Lord's residence to sell the fruits, because she really wanted an audience with the Lord. She wasn't looking for business, but that was just an excuse. So the Lord reached that lady, and by the time he reached her, the grains that the Lord was carrying to offer in exchange for fruit slipped out. Still, that lady, she was so attracted to the beauty of the Lord, and she gave the fruits to the Lord without anything in return. And what happened to the lady? Her basket, which had become empty because she gave all the fruits away, that basket was full with what? Full with Juhu, jewelry and so on. There's a similar story that you read in the Chaitanya Mangal, Alochandas Thakur. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after taking sannyas, was heading towards the Jagannath temple. And on the way, he was very thirsty. It was very hot. So there was a young boy selling buttermilk. Like we sell buttermilk from a farm here. So he was selling buttermilk. And the Lord drank everything. And then he said, money, paisa. This pastime was done 500 years ago. The fruit seller's pastime was 5,000 years ago. So the young boy said, money. And the Lord said, I don't have any money with me, but my colleagues are going to come very soon. They'll pay you. So then later, Lord Nityananda came with his devotee, and the young boy said, your sannyasi colleague drank all the buttermilk that I had. And he said, you would offer payment. And Lord Nityananda said, we don't have any money either. So he said, you don't have any money? Okay. Tell that sannyasi that I gave that buttermilk as a donation. You don't have money, now I'll go home. So in order to go home, he was lifting his big pot. And the big pot had become empty, very light, because Lord Chaitanya drank the entire lassi that he had, buttermilk. So when he went to lift up his big pot, he could not move it at all. He was surprised. It was light a few minutes ago. Now it's so heavy. And so he looked inside. And we looked inside, what did he find? The whole pot had become full of jewels, diamonds, etc. And so the Lord, when he was going to take the fruits, what happened? All the grains had fallen out. So in the purport of the Gita, Prabhupada quotes 2 verses from the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Patam pasam phalam toyam and yat karoshi yadasnati yadasnati yadapasvati kaunteya. So Krishna accepts if we offer with love. Patam pasam phalam toyam yome bhaktiya prayatati. You can offer me even a leaf or water or flower or fruit. I will accept it. But there's one catch, one essential point. And what is that? It should be done with devotion. Krishna is complete in all respects. Om Purnamada Purnamidam. He is complete. He doesn't need anything. But when the devotee offers him with devotion, then he accepts it. What is the conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita? The conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita is Sarvadhamam Dharmam Paritaja Mamekam Ham Tam Sarvapapa Moksha. Give up all rights of religious and surrender to me. So bhakti is the theme of Bhagavad Gita. Bhakti is the theme also of the Srimad Bhagavatam. If we approach Krishna with love, then he will accept it. Krishna is complete in all respects. But he's looking for our love. But do we have love for the Lord? At the present moment, initial stage, we may have no love, no attraction. But the process of bhakti yoga that we follow is so designed that even a contaminated heart can get purified. Just like, what are the benefits of chanting the holy name? Chetadarpan Marana. One of the benefits of chanting the holy name is your heart becomes cleansed. So if we are very contaminated, but if we chant the holy name, take to the path of bhakti, then this contaminated heart, contaminated senses can get purified. Therefore, the conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita is Bhakti Amam Avajananti. I can be known only by the path of devotional service. And that is also the theme of the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam from beginning to end talks about the path of bhakti. So Krishna says here that if somebody offers me with love and devotion, even a tulsi leaf, you will accept it. So to become a devotee of the Lord, you don't need a big educational degree. You don't need beauty. You don't need wealth. You only need a desire to take to the path of bhakti. And the next verse, Yat Karoshi Ashnati, Krishna is saying, whatever you do, you all are engaged in some activity or the other. Whatever charity we do, whatever we eat, it should be done as an offering unto me. So in other words, the purpose of bhakti yoga is to get purified. We work in devotion. Bhakti yoga means working in devotion. So, initially, our heart is contaminated and it's full of what we call anarthas. Anartha means that which is not necessary. So, we need to get purified. And the process of purification is possible in the process of sadhana bhakti. Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu talks about sadhana bhakti and Raganuga bhakti. Sadhana bhakti means following the rules and regulations. Well, these rules and regulations are there for our purification. Sometimes we hear people saying, oh, in ISKCON there are too many rules and regulations. Look at my guru. He's so liberal. Doesn't give any rules and regulations. But these rules and regulations are part of sadhana bhakti and they are meant for our purification. We have to recognize that we are contaminated. We are full of material desires. As Prabhupada used to say, our heart is more dark than a coal. But through the process of bhakti, which begins with the process of chanting the holy name, this heart can get purified. So sadhana bhakti means following rules and regulations. And these rules and regulations are there for our benefit. And if we follow them, then what happens? The heart can get purified. And we can practically see that. We can practically see how Prabhupada went to different parts of the world, planted the seed, gave everyone the pure process, and how they got purified. So sadhana bhakti is very important, following rules and regulations. And by following these rules and regulations, we get purified. Purification is very important. And that is possible by practicing the process of bhakti yoga. So we have to develop devotion. And the acharyas have given us so many instructions. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally gave this education to Rupa and Sanatana. Lord Chaitanya appeared on the planet to deliver the conditioned soul. Padit Bhavan Hetu Tava Avatara, Mosama Padita Prabhu. You have appeared just to save conditioned souls. And there's no one who is more contaminated than me. That is the humility of a devotee. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I am the most fallen. And the mentality of a devotee who wishes to make spiritual advancement is to have this mood of humility. On the devotional path, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommended the following guidelines. He was instructing Sanatana Goswami, who at one time was holding a very important position with the government, but he resigned and got instructions from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then he went to Vrindavan along with his brother, and they wrote books on the process of devotional service. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, on the devotional path, the first step, we should accept everything favorable for devotional service. Just like when you have a diseased body, you don't want to accept anything that will increase the disease. You want to take only those items which are conducive for yourself. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, on the devotional path, accept what is favorable and reject what is unfavorable. This guideline you hear all the time. Accept what is favorable and reject what is unfavorable. And how do you ascertain what is favorable and what is unfavorable? You take the help of Guru Sadhu Shastra, the spiritual teacher, the saintly person in the scriptures. Scriptures are the words of God. Dharmamukti Sakshat Bhagavad Parinam. And there is absolutely no flaw in the injunction of the scriptures. And we should accept the injunction as it is spoken by the Lord. That's why Prabhupada, when he presented the Bhagavad Gita, he called it Bhagavad Gita as it is, without any interpretation. So accept what is favorable and reject what is unfavorable. Rupa Goswami explains this also in his Updeshamrita. For favorable, what did he say? Usaha nishya dharya tatakama pravatana sangatagya sato vrete sabi bhakti. Your devotional service can increase if you serve enthusiastically, with determination. We need patience also. We need to follow the path given by the great sages. Sangatyage, minimize association of worldly minded people and take advantage of Sattva-Vedas, saintly people. In other words, take advantage of spiritual association. We can associate with others in various ways. When you meet somebody more advanced than yourself, we should be joyful because you're going to get something that's going to help you make spiritual advancement. When you meet somebody equally advanced, we make friendship. Friendship in spiritual life means we work together to preach the mission of the Lord. And when you meet somebody less advanced, then what do? Display compassion. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says the first step is accept what is favorable. Then the next item was reject what is unfavorable. This is not hard to ascertain. It's just like if you have disease, if something's bad for your disease, you don't take it. You give it, you avoid it. So similarly, we should avoid what is unfavorable. Atyahara prayashashta prajalpa jansakasha lolyam jas sarvir bhaktir. By one process it gets destroyed, and the other process it gets built up. So don't over-endeavor, avoid mundane talk, etc. Then he said, accept the Lord as your real protector. Ekala Ishwar Krishna Asapratya. Krishna is the only master. So accept the Lord as your master. Sometimes we think, oh, so much time will go in service. We should understand the Lord is our protector. Krishna tells us, surrender to me, I will protect you. Kaunteya pratijanahi nama bhakta. Declare to the whole world that my devotee will never perish. Our faith in the Lord being our protector will increase as you practice the process of bhakti yoga. Just like devotees often ask, how can I increase my attachment to the holy name? How many of you would like to increase your attachment to the holy name? Everyone. Oh. Assembly of devotees. So how do I increase my attachment to the holy name? By chanting the holy name. As you chant, and as you endeavor, you chant attentively, you will also develop a taste for the holy name. But if you don't chant regularly, then the taste will not develop. How do you develop attachment to the books? It's very important that we also study Prabhupada's books by reading. If you read regularly, then your taste will also increase. So we should understand that Krishna is our protector. And it's not that some demigod is our protector. Krishna is your protector. And make your desires consistent with the desires of the Lord. In other words, our desires should be based on what Krishna wants us to desire. Our contaminated mind may have so many ideas. We should see what does Krishna want. If we do what Krishna wants, then that will be the path of real success. So, understand that Krishna is your protector and Krishna is our well-wisher. Krishna is our well-wisher. Mata Padam Nanyat Kinchina Silananja. There's no truth higher than this. So we should accept Krishna's instruction. And another important feature is, Chaitanya Maharaj said, to do that, humility. Humility. So I have to be quarrelsome. But in spiritual life, humility, tolerance are virtues. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Nadapi Suruchera Rupena. Amanina Manadena. Our ultimate goal is to develop attachment to the holy name. And ultimate goal is to get attached to the holy name and chant the holy name. This Krishna conscious movement has spread all over the world just on the strength of the holy name. Prabhupada didn't have any magic. He just gave the holy name, and through the holy name, others got attracted and purified. Prabhupada took the holy name. He went to Russia. He made one devotee through the medium of the holy name. He told him to preach the holy glory of the holy name. And gradually the movement spread everywhere. So we can see the chanting of holy name is the solution. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, you read the story of Subhuti Roy. Subhuti Roy was a very big landowner, and he was a rich man. And he had a servant called Hussein. Hussein was like his manager, and Subhuti Roy cultivated him with full respect, all facilities, love, etc. One day, Hussein had made a mistake, so Subhuti Roy used a whip that left a scar on his back. By manipulation, Subhuti Roy became poor, and that Hussein became a Nawab, became a rich man, owner of all the land. So one day, his wife saw a scar on the back. Oh, where did he get that scar from? So he said, when I was young, serving Subhuti Roy, I made a mistake and I got a whip. And she said, now you have become the ruler. Now you should take revenge. Kill him. What he did when you were young. But Saint Shah said, how can I do that? He treated me like a son. He gave me so much love and affection. I can't do that. And then she said, okay, you don't want to kill him, at least make him a Muslim. Because at that time, the society was so rigid that if you ate in a Muslim's house, you would be outcast. Nawab, when Haridas Thakur was attached to the holy name, the Nawab said, we Muslims don't even take a grain from a Hindu's house. And you are chanting the holy name of Krishna. Yeah. So Subudhi Roy, Nawab's wife, said, kill him. He said, I can't kill him. Make him a Muslim. Okay. So he took a bucket of water, threw it on Subudhi Roy, and he became a Muslim. Outcast. So he went to Varanasi. And he asked the Brahmana there, what should I do? I've been converted to Islam now. What should I do? And the Brahmin in Varanasi said, you should take boiling ghee and eat it and commit suicide. So he was a little perplexed by this advice. But then Lord Chaitanya came there. And he asked Lord Chaitanya what to do. And what did the Lord say? What did he say? Go to Vrindavan and chant the holy name. So he then came to Vrindavan. He did some simple business of taking a boat from Vrindavan to Mathura. And his monthly income was about 5 to 6 paisas a month. Is it a high income? But out of the 5 or 6 paisas a month, he would keep only 1 paisa for his living. He would live within 1 paisa. And 5 paisas a month he would use to serve the Vaishnavi widows who would come from Bengal. And he was attached to the chanting of the holy name. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu propagated this process of chanting Hare Krishna, which is the best means to cleanse the heart. So, humility in spiritual life means I'm ready to take direction. I'm ready to be corrected. I need guidance. In mature life, we don't like taking guidance. But in spiritual life, associating with one's devotees, taking instructions is necessary if you want to make spiritual advancement. Prabhupada said, you take 1 step towards Krishna and he takes thousands of steps towards you. So, Krishna's pastimes are all transcendental. And some of the other, we should absorb ourselves in these spiritual pastimes. So, accept what is favorable, reject what is unfavorable. Understand that Krishna is the protector. Make your desires consistent with the desires of the Lord. You want to know what to do, what not to do? We take the help of Guru Sadhana Shala. Our desires should be consistent with the desires of the Lord. In material life, our slogan is, do what I want. In spiritual life, our slogan is, we do what Krishna wants. If we do what Krishna wants, then you'll succeed on the spiritual path. And if you want to do what your mind says, then what will happen? You'll remain confused and not be able to make spiritual advancement. The goal is to make spiritual advancement. And by reading these stories, reading what the Lord's pastime, we get purified. Just like in the 10th canto, you're reading about Krishna's pastime. Krishna's pastime should be understood through an authentic source. Prabhupada, when he went to America, the first book that he fully translated was the Krishna book. in the Krishna book, as you know, is a summary of the 10th canto. And Prabhupada was very keen that the summary Krishna book get published. But Prabhupada wanted to publish the Krishna book in very high quality. He wanted it to be published with a very high quality, make it very presentable. At that time our movement was new in America and the funds were very limited. And at that time, Prabhupada had sent 3 disciple couples to England to preach. Shamsundar and his wife, Mukunda Prabhu and his wife, and Gurudas and his wife. And they did a splendid job. They were able to preach and they started cultivating a rich, famous singer called Raja. So Prabhupada was in New York and Shamsundar had come to see Prabhupada in New York. So Prabhupada told Shamsundar, why don't you ask George to print this Krishna book? And at that time, George was a brand new devotee. So Shamsundar was hesitant. He said, Prabhupada, he's a new devotee. If I ask him for something now, he may not become a devotee. Prabhupada said, no, go and tell him to print this book. And he came to London, met George and said, my special wants you to print this book. He said, okay, how much is it? He printed it right away. So Prabhupada wanted us to be well acquainted with Krishna's pastime, which are very nicely described in the Krishna book. So, what is important is we get attached to the holy name. We get attached to the philosophy. We get attached to associating with sadhus. The spiritual association is must. Now the Gaura Manigriva, they were intoxicated, enjoying naked women, but they got purified. How did they get purified? By whose association? By the association of Narada. The spiritual association is very important if you want to make spiritual advancement. These days we all are going online to hear classes and to give classes and so on. And that's a very good avenue for preaching online. But that doesn't replace the importance of spiritual association. We should regularly go to the temples. We should regularly take part with devotees, social devotees. And that will help us to stay on the spiritual path. So, we accept what is favorable, reject what is unfavorable. And our goal is to make spiritual advancement. So, the Marjorie, the lady selling apples, she gave everything away to Krishna. She didn't care whether she got paid or not. So similarly, our desire should be to constantly associate with the devotees of the Lord. And that constant association is helpful in making spiritual advancement. So chanting the holy name is the beginning. Lord Chaitanya inspired people of all walks of life to come and take their holy name. Once Lord Chaitanya had defeated a Buddhist sage in philosophy. And the Buddhists thought, we should take revenge. And they conspired. They brought a plate of contaminated food in front of Lord Chaitanya and said, this is a Mahaprasad for you. Please take it. And as they were offering the metal plate, an eagle came from the top, took the contaminated pieces and dropped the metal plate on the head of the Guru. The Guru fainted. So the Buddhist monks were feeling very guilty. We had an evil plan to embarrass Lord Chaitanya. Now our Guru is almost dying. So they apologized to the Lord and said, please rescue him. What did the Lord say? What did he say? Chant the holy name. They chanted the holy name. And then all these Buddhas became Vaishnavas. At the same time, the Lord, I was in Varanasi. He stayed in the house of a devotee called Chandrasekhar. Chandrasekhar and Taparmestra both belonged to scheduled caste, but Lord Chaitanya did not care. He saw who is the devotee of the Lord. We determine who is the higher caste and lower caste, not by where you were born, but by what your qualities are. Janma Chatuvarnamaya system, Guna Karma Vibhagata. According to Guna, one is recognized to be Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. So, Lord Chaitanya was being criticized by the sannyasis headed by Krishan and Saraswati. They were holding a big session and they were very critical of Lord Chaitanya. He is a sannyasi from our community and he doesn't study the Vedanta. He's just chanting the holy name like a madman. So, at the request of his devotees, the Lord agreed to go to the location where the Mayavadis were studying the Vedanta. And when the Lord came in, there was so much effulgence, equal to 1,000 of the suns put together. So there was a debate. Prakashananda Saraswati came down where the Lord was sitting. He was sitting next to the location where they washed their feet. Like in our temple here, you wash your feet before you come in. So, and they displayed so much effulgence. So they said, why don't you sit down and study the Vedanta with us? Why do you chant and dance on the street like a madman? So the Lord said, they discussed the glories of the holy name. And the Lord said, my spiritual master considers me to be a fool. He said, you are only capable of chanting the holy name. That's all. And then the Lord explained the reasons for chanting and the glories of the holy name. And in the end, what happened? All these sannyasis, 10,000, became Vaishnava. So, our goal is to develop prema for the Lord. Our goal is to get attracted to the holy name, get attracted to serving the Lord. And how is that possible? Through the process of Navadavana. Chanting the holy name is a prime medium, you see. Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam. So this chanting of the holy name is necessary and a very simple process of self-realization. You know, just like if something is being sold for, let's say 100 rupees, and on sale, you reduce the price to 1 rupee. Everyone will buy it. So, in this age of Kali, the Lord has subsidized the process of self-realization. He's given us a very simple process, which is chanting the holy name. So we should get attached to the holy name. We have to develop bhakti. Prabhupada in the purport clearly says, our goal should be to do with devotion. So we can offer Patam Puspam Phalam Toyam with devotion, and the Lord will accept it. But if you are a rich man, you eat off a silver plate every day, and when it comes to the Lord, you say, Patam Puspam Phalam Toyam. That will not impress the Lord. But when the Lord sees, with love and devotion, You're using everything in service of the Lord. The Lord says, whatever you do, whatever activity you do, whatever austerity you perform, whatever you eat, first you will you offer it to Krishna. So our process of devotional service is the process of purification. You must have often heard the statement, purity is the force. So we are born impure. Om Agyati Vrindasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshimritanena. So I was born in ignorance, but now, by the help of saintly people, sadhus, guru, I'm getting purified. So we have to recognize we are born in ignorance. Most of us are born in ignorance, live in ignorance, and die in ignorance. But we are fortunate. Brahmandriya Brahmavita Kuru Bhagavanaji, Guru Krishna Kripa. But we are fortunate to receive the seed of bhakti. And what did Lord Chaitanya say? This seed of bhakti will grow if you water the seed. Just having knowledge that bhakti yoga is a process and the goal is not enough. We have to water the seed. And watering is Shravanam and Kirtana. Water it. Then Lord Chaitanya said, just like in our Hare Krishna land, Bombay, we have a boundary wall. Why? So that undesirable elements may not come in. So we just keep ourselves surrounded by devotees. If you have regular sadhu sangha, then that will help you to keep the unwanted elements out. So he said, stay in devotee association. And on the devotional path, what should he avoid? What happens if a mad elephant comes to a beautiful garden? What happens? It gets ruined, isn't it? So on the devotional path, make sure you avoid what? Offenses. We should be careful to avoid offenses. And then you make spiritual advancement. So to summarize, we're reading about the Lord's wonderful pastimes in the 10th canto. We just completed hearing about the Lord's Damodar pastimes. The Damodar pastimes were performed, the two parts of the Damodar pastime. The first is Mother Yasoda. She succeeds in tying her son with a rope. And when she was endeavoring to tie the son, the rope was always running 2 fingers short. What do these 2 fingers represent? One represents you have to make an effort if you want to please the Lord. If you don't make an effort, then, and if you make an effort, then the Lord will give you mercy and reciprocal knowledge by which you can make spiritual advancement. So we should make an effort, serious effort. God helps those who help themselves. Prabhupada said, you take 1 step towards Krishna, Krishna will take thousands of steps towards you. Thousands, not only 10, thousands. But we have to take the initiative. And in the Nandakara Manigiva pastime, we see how they got saved by a sadhu's association. So, after having presented these 2 pastimes, Shukadeva Goswami is now presenting this pastime of a lady selling fruits. The lady was attracted to Krishna. She gave the fruits free, and what did she get in exchange? Unlimited wealth. But she wasn't performing devotional service to get some material benefit. She was attracted to Krishna's beauty. She was attracted to Krishna's pastime. So she would come and sell her fruits in front of Nand Maharaj's house. So Krishna would come and see her so that she could get an audience with the Lord. So our desire should also be to meditate on Krishna's pastime. And if we meditate on Krishna's pastime, And what will happen? We'll get purified. We are here to get purified. And if we never, we should have. So regularly read the Bhagavatam and regularly Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto. Think of the Krishna's pastime. And this way we get purified. So Srimad Bhagavatam class in the morning is a must for somebody who wants to make spiritual advancement. And if you can't come to the class, or you have a job or something, then read the Bhagavatam. Read the Bhagavatam regularly. And this regular reading will the Prabhupada has given us all the instruments we need for spiritual advancement. You just take advantage of it and be determined. Nishtaya. And if you're determined and doing bhajana kriya regularly, then there will be anatha nivriti and eventually Krishna prema. So we take full advantage of and be determined to make spiritual advancement. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes.
For the nice class. You mentioned that when we perform bhakti, when we chant the holy name, read Gopal books, we become purified.
These are activities that help us to get purified.
So, how do we gauge this purification? How do we measure that whether I am getting purified or not?
Good question. When you have temperature, your body is warm, how do you ascertain is the temperature coming down? You take a thermometer, put it in the mouth. So our thermometer is how attached am I getting to the holy name? How attached am I getting to reading? How attached am I getting to serving sadhus? How attached am I getting becoming humble? Developing humility is also a measurement. Desire to serve Vaishnavas is also a measurement. Desire to chant the holy name, desire to read. These are all positive developments that we need to cultivate. That's our goal, to get attached to the holy name. What does it mean to get attached to the holy name? I feel like chanting. I feel like chanting all the time. In the business you may say, I must chant my 16 rounds, that's good. Sometimes devotees say, I chant my rounds, but it's all mechanical. So we say, if it is mechanical, chant. And the regular chanting will cleanse your heart and get you attached to the holy name. Even if we don't feel like going to Bhagavatam class. Oh, I know he's going to give a boring class. Still you go and attend the class. Because Krishna is being spoken, you will make advancement. Yeah. Yes.
So you were mentioning about humility very emphatically. So humility, there is one pastime wherein Samudra Manthan Leela, when the mountain was brought and Vasuki was tied to the mountain. The mountain was brought on the by the help of Garuda. So after this was done, Lord said to Garuda that you go away now. Now Vasuki has to come. So because there is a natural enmity or something between Vasuki and Garuda. So both are devotees, but they don't coexist. So in our scenario, we feel sometimes strained in relationship with some devotee. So we think that we can't coexist. So
Actually,
is that humility? How do we practice
yeah, I
humility?
understand. It's a good question. There's another Vaishnava. He's also very sincere. But I feel I can't work with him. Why do I feel I can't work with him? Because I'm thinking, My path is the right path. Everything I do is right, and everything he does is wrong. So we should have respect for the other person also. We should see. Maybe his reason is better than mine. And humility means a desire to serve, and a desire to learn, a desire to be corrected. If we follow the third verse of the Shastra, you'll find your spiritual life will be very easy. You will have only good thoughts about everyone, and there can be harmony. Our problem comes, my mind says, you have the correct path, not this other guy. And humility doesn't mean just offer namaste and dandavats. What is really needed is humility of the heart. In the heart we must recognize, I need direction, I need help. More questions? Yes.
हरे कृष्ण महाराज जी की धन्यवाद। महाराज, जब हम सरेंडर की बात करते हैं तो ऐसा लगता है कि एक कुछ प्लान हमारे हम रिजर्व रखते हैं कि मैं आपकी सेवा करूंगा, अथॉरिटी के अंदर भी अथॉरिटी जैसे बता रहे वैसे करते हैं, लेकिन उसमें भी हम बोलते कि मेरे हिसाब से करूंगा। हम जो है मेरे हिसाब से करूंगा कोई सेवा, जो सेवा बताई गई उसके अलावा दूसरी सेवा करूंगा, और उसमें फिर हमको बाद में समझ में आता है कि ये तो सही में शरणागति नहीं है, फिर बाद में हमको बुरा भी लगता है, तो फिर और करेक्ट होने का और करेक्ट सुधार लाने का उसके ऊपर भी विश्वास नहीं आता है, तो उस केस में क्या है?
अक्सर हम अंग्रेजी में एक फ्रेज है कंफर्ट जोन, आपने सुना होगा पहले। हम सेवा करेंगे पर हमारे इच्छा के अनुसार। आपकी जो इच्छा है रोज बदलती रहती है। आज आपका मन कहता है ये ठीक है, कल कहता है वो ठीक है। तो इसलिए भक्ति सिद्धांत ने कहा 100 बार चप्पल से सिर को कहा, ये शिक्षा देता है, हमें सुनना चाहिए। इसे चैतन्य महाप्रभु की विनम्रता देखो, जब वाराणसी में थे उन्होंने क्या कहा, मेरे गुरु ने देखा और कहा तुम तो मूर्ख हो, तुम केवल हरि राम के तुम केवल हरि नाम का उच्चारण कर सकते हो और कुछ नहीं। तो हमें सबका दास बनना चाहिए। भौतिक समाज में हम सबके मालिक बनना चाहते हैं, पर आध्यात्मिक जीवन में सबका दास बनने में कुछ नुकसान नहीं होगा, लाभ भी होगा। Servant of the servant, that is our philosophy. More questions?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you very much for the very wonderful class. In the beginning, you were mentioning about sadhana bhakti. That sadhana bhakti is following the rules and regulations. While we are following rules and regulations, somehow we miss the goal. The goal, as in Chaitanya Charitamrita, also it is mentioned in Padma Puran, Smargam and Satyam Vishnu, that to follow these rules and regulations, to remember Krishna. So oftentimes when it comes to others, we try to, like I myself try to pinpoint that okay, he is not humble, he is not tolerant, but we miss the primary qualification of that he is surrendered to Krishna, at least he has taken the path. And when it comes to my own self, then like I want others to judge my primary qualification that okay, I am surrendered to Krishna, I don't see my other qualities. So how to strike a balance between niyam agraha and niyam agraha, that following rules and regulations not for the just for the sake and not following anything.
Rules and regulations are there for a purpose. The ultimate purpose is to develop Krishna prema. Our ultimate goal is Rupa Goswami says, always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. Rupa Goswami gives many rules. Then he says, all these rules and regulations are there to make you achieve this one principle. Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. Chanakya Pandit said, deal with others the way you want others to deal with you. This is a very, very important instruction. How do you want others to deal with you? Rudely? Hey, you idiot! Don't you know how to do? No. You would prefer if somebody dealt with you gently, isn't it? So this, Chanakya Pandit said, deal with others the way you want others to deal with you. If you adopt that, that will help you. Actually, all our weaknesses can be corrected by taking advantage of knowledge of the scriptures. Chanakya Pandit said, deal with others the way you want others to deal with you. Look upon everyone's assets as garbage, and look upon every woman except your wife as your mother. If you follow these three guidelines, that will help you to escape the influence of, minimize the influence of lust, anger, and greed. Okay? Any more? Online. From where? Huh? Okay, go ahead.
प्रश्न पूछ रहे हैं कि गुरु महाराज माया इतनी नजदीक है और कृष्ण भी इतने नजदीक है। माया का स्मरण करते तो तुरंत आ जाती है, लेकिन कृष्ण का स्मरण करते तो इतनी जल्दी नहीं आती। क्या कारण है?
प्रयास करोगे तो कठिन कार्य भी सरल बन जाएगा। कृष्णदास कविराज कहते हैं, चैतन्य महाप्रभु की कृपा से कठिन काम सरल बन जाता है। उनकी कृपा के बिना सरल काम कठिन बन जाता है। तो अगर हम शास्त्र की विधियों का पालन करें, कठिन कार्य भी सरल बन जाएगा। We should have faith. You have followed the system. It will help me. Any more questions? Where? I'm sorry, can you speak louder?
You have described very nicely about the 6 steps of Sharanagati. So initially, while following the rules and regulations, subjects like academically, we have to do them. And but you have mentioned about we have to offer a one-time devotion. So how we are certain that we are whether we are.
What was the last line you said?
You have mentioned about the 6 steps of the Sharanagati.
Yes.
And later you have told that initially you have to follow the rules and regulations.
And then you'll get to a spontaneous level.
So, should whether while following the rules and regulations, should we try to know that whether we are able to operate in our relation?
Whether we are able to
Operate with love or not?
what? If you, it doesn't matter what your mentality is, follow the system. And then you get purified. And sadhana bhakti will take you to Raghunanga bhakti. First you want to rule the regulations, and then you'll reach a stage where you don't want to live without chanting. You want to eat only Krishna Prasad. You want to have darshan of the deities. You want to have darshan of sadhus. That will come automatically. शुरू में हमें ज़बरदस्ती करना पड़ता है। जप नहीं करना चाहते तो जप करते हैं। अगर बाकी डायरेक्टर नहीं हो कोई तो हम सोने चले जाए। ये सब नज़र रख रहे हैं इसे हम जप करें। तो पहले हमें लगता है अनेक प्रकार के बंधन हैं, पर चाहे कुछ भी हो, chant, doesn't matter. Even if you have material motives. Krishna says, people come to me for 4 factors. चतुर्विधा आप जानते हैं, एक जैसे पैसा चाहिए, Even if you want money, come to me. But then you get purified. Just like Dhruva Maharaj. He went to the forest. He took Narada Muni's instruction and he practiced extreme austerity. And then when the Lord offered him, Dhruva, because of me, you underwent so many austerities. He said, my dear Lord, now I don't want anything. I was looking for a broken cut glass. Now I found a diamond. So pure, that's the ultimate goal of life is Krishna Prem. That is a diamond. Yeah? Any more? Yes.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. My question is that our enthusiasm, patience, and endeavor for any particular service, how can we keep increasing? Because at particular time, in particular service, for example, so at particular level, I become stagnated. No, I can do this much only, but still I can go ahead, I can progress. So how can increase enthusiasm, patience, and endeavor for?
How to increase enthusiasm? Is that your question?
Yes, endeavor also patience also in particular service. If you face some difficulty, then you will sometimes take a back step and then stagnated there only.
If you chant your rounds regularly, if you follow the guidelines, then naturally you will be enthusiastic. It will come automatically. As if you eat prasad, then you feel your stomach is full. If you follow the process, then you'll automatically feel enthusiastic. All the strength is in the process. अगर आप साधना भक्ति करोगे, then automatically you will feel, you will go on to the next stage. You're going to go bhakti. Keep endeavoring, don't take shortcuts. Okay. Any more? Yes, last question.
कई बार ऐसा होता है कि माइंड हमारा ऐसा डिस्टर्ब रहता है कि साधना में मॉर्निंग प्रोग्राम में ध्यान नहीं रहता, माइंड कहीं और ही भटकते रहता है और हम लोग प्रयास करने पर भी वो हमारा साधना की चीज़ों में या किसी भी चीज़ों में फोकस नहीं कर पाते। तो ऐसी सिचुएशन पे हमें क्या करना चाहिए?
जैसे आपने अनेक बार सुना है, चंचल मन को मत सुनो। चंचल मन को प्रॉपर्ली से इग्नोर इट। तो आप वही करो जो कि आपको कहा जाए। अक्सर हमारा क्या भाव रहता है, हम करेंगे जो मन कहता है। ये मन आपका सबसे बड़ा मित्र है और शत्रु है। इस समय मन शत्रु है, इसलिए मन का मत सोचो, जो बुद्धि द्वारा शिक्षा मिलती है उसका पालन करो। The process is very clear in Prabhupada's books. You just have to follow it. Okay? And you should not forget, if I sincerely endeavor, Krishna will help. और में विश्वास होना चाहिए। अगर हम श्रद्धा से प्रयास करेंगे, भगवान सहयोग देंगे। You should have full faith. Krishna is ready to protect me and help me. But you must make the first attempt. Krishna asked Arjuna, is your illusion now gone? Arjuna said, yes. And Krishna said, now do as you see fit. So thank you. We should stop now. Thank you. Hare Krishna.